The second option is to put him in charge and to put him in a situation where he cannot deliver anything. And it means it's undermining his credibility, and it happened with others. And the third is just for the military to go it's the Algerian scenario, which is you have a civil president, but from behind the scene the army is dealing with. It's going to be very difficult because today the military have the upper hand. I'm not sure, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure that it was right. This is my take on it, but I might be wrong. I'm not sure that it was right to go, when 2 days before the election, the military did what they did. My take on this would have been for the Muslim Brotherhood to step down to say we are not running. That's not right. To come back to the people. To go to the people in Midan al-Tahrir and to say we are not running for this presidency because this position of the presidency is now void of any kind of true power. And to come back to the people and to remobilize the people against the army. This would have been my position. But to enter within it and now to be in this position where you have the symbolic power and behind you you don't have, rooms. Remember what happened 3 days ago or 4 days ago when he said, for example, we need to restate or to the parliament we should come back to the parliament, and the army said no. The army is not going to happen. The parliament is over, we need new elections. And he lost and they won because he has no power to impose the parliament. So I think that it's a very difficult situation. Of course, they have to be pragmatic. To face the army in such a situation would be a distraction of everything. If you are facing them, just the Muslim Brotherhood against the army, they are going to be destroyed. The army is not only dealing with military power, there are two sources of power for the army today. The first is controlling 50% of the economy in Egypt. The second is the very critical relationship the army has with the United States of America. So the Americans, the way Barack Obama is a very smart leader, but he is representing a dirty system. And from behind the scene, the way they were dealing with the army, playing as if they didn't know what was happening, or we are not controlling, we don't know. This is only political game. They are very, very smart on this. Or we don't know. Of course they knew. And now we know what happened in Tunisia, that they knew what was happening. They were involved in anything which happened in Tunisia after when Ben Ali had to leave the country. They were involved. They decided where he was going to land. Just remember this. He wanted to go to France, and then he wanted to go to Cyprus. He ended up in Riyadh through the intervention of Hillary Clinton. So this is something which is so important for us not to be naive, and when we deal with the army to know that they are, by the way, they are very smart. The way they dealt with the whole Egyptian recent story, it's very, very clever. Not to be involved, to follow in the footsteps of the Tunisian, not to repress, to look at the people go. In fact, one trend within the army didn't want the people around Mubarak, and they succeeded. And in fact, now, this is the situation, Wallahu A'lam. When you were talking about implementing and the hudud and once again what was, if the people please, because I was, it was not easy for me to come with this call for moratorium. It was not really much understood. It's still on my website. You go on my website, tariqramadan.com, you have the international call for suspending the implementation of hudud. And please read it. Because even scholars, I was dealing with scholars, I was talking with scholars, at the highest level. They were not even reading it. And some scholars, they were saying, oh, you are saying this and that, you are against al-qat'i min al-nusus. I said, I never said that. I said, have you read the text? No, I was told. I'm sorry, a scholar cannot say, qila li. I was told. You have to read. The beginning of knowledge, judging me outside Islam, is for you to read what I'm saying. And the call for moratorium is this one. No one here in this room can deny the fact that if you come back to the Quran, you have verses dealing with death penalty and verses dealing with corporal punishment. You can't deny the fact that it's in the Quran. You can't deny the fact that in hadith, the prophetic traditions, there is a reference to stoning. You can't. This is in the text. Now, having said that, are you going to literally implement the text without taking the context into account and the evolution of time and situations? Or are you going to be faithful literally, or are you going to think about what it means? Well, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu decided to suspend the implementation of al-had on al-saraq, the thieves, because this was a time of famine. Are you going to just come to this, or think about the conditions? So my position in this call for moratorium to say, I'm asking 3 questions to all the scholars. First, what do the texts say? Second, what are the conditions, shurut? Third, in which context? We want 3. As long as you don't come with something which is an articulated, sophisticated, and clear position on the 3 questions, we cannot carry on implementing the hudud, because at the end, the only victims of this hudud are the poor people and the women, because they are the more fragile. You are not going to implement hudud against a king or a prince that is stealing the money of his people and coming to Switzerland to deal with corruption. I see this every day. In Switzerland, we have this king, this prince coming, and corruption, prostitution, and nothing is happening to them. You go back to Saudi Arabia, and the poor Pakistani guy, Had, Islam, come on. We're going to show the people how Islamic we are. We are not, we are hypocrites. This is hypocrisy. So we stop and we come to a discussion. This was my position. Now I come to Malaysia, an interesting discussion comes. So the people are now, they understand something. That in this society, in Malaysia, you are 50 or a bit more, I don't know exactly, you don't have the exact figures about the Muslim population in this country. A bit more than the majority. But at least it's the majority religious community. This is what we know. And now we have people understanding and politicians understanding, oh, Islam is attractive. So when you call to Islam, the people are coming. So to show that we are very much Muslims, we are going to use some tricks and some references to show to the people that we are very serious about Islam. And instead of coming with what Sharia is all about, what is Sharia? Sharia has main principles. It's not a set of law to punish, it's a set of objectives to respect. You get the difference? It's not a set of law to punish, it's a set of objectives to respect. Justice, dignity, religion of the people, not only the Muslims, all the people, the dignity of the people, the goods of the people, the progeny, the family. You want to start implementing justice? Stop talking about punishing and start talking about justice, social justice, transparency. And if you want to punish, punish the corrupt powerful, not the poor victims. Don't play with Islam. So this is where you have now people coming and they want to implement. So my position on suspending, if you want this, is not even the same. It's I'm stressing on this, and I went to many countries, in Morocco, in Pakistan even, they were asking me about, the Sharia Council, they were asking me about suspending death penalty. And I think that you cannot implement death penalty in societies where we have what we have today. We don't kill people like this. It's as if you kill someone in an unjust way. Even with Gaddafi, Gaddafi was a tyrant. The way he was killed is unacceptable. Killed by people in the way as if he's an animal, and we are happy because he was a tyrant. We don't have a retaliative justice. We don't kill people. You were bad, I'm going to kill you in a worse way. This is not acceptable. You take people, you judge them. Even Saddam Hussein was not judged in the right way.